is a special presentation of HBO Sports, the network of champions.
Though it's been 34 years since his last bout, Sugar Ray Robinson remains the measuring stick for boxing greatness. His combination of power and speed redefined the sport, and today his legacy lives on through the most sincere form of flattery, imitation. Roy Jones and Shane Mosley, two of boxing's best, help us ring in the new year by showcasing the skills that so often bring comparisons to one of boxing's grandest legends. Like Robinson, Roy Jones's unorthodox style defies boxing logic.
Jones landing early power shots. Down he goes.
He uses machine gun bursts of power punches to dismantle his opponents. With vicious body shots and lightning head blows, Jones has collected 3 titles in 3 different weight classes.
We may be seeing one of the most talented fighters that's ever come along in this game. The punching power, the speed, he has it all.
With a smooth blend of hand and foot speed, lightweight champion Sugar Shane Mosley is proving a worthy inheritor of the sweet nickname.
And he has such quick hands, Jim. It's so beautiful to watch him throw these quick combinations.
He's a real classic fighter.
Blinding his opponents with two-fisted flurries, Mosley has catapulted into boxing's elite, stopping 28 of 30 victims.
You don't see this kind of technique, fire, this kind of power, all blended into one fighter.
Though similar in technique and success, Jones and Mosley are on opposite career paths. Jones has made it clear we may be witnessing one of his last several pro bouts, but Sugar Shane is just reaching the crest of his bright fighting career. Tonight we honor the magic of the old by ringing in the new, showcasing 2 of boxing's best. Roy Jones defending his light heavyweight title, Shane Mosley defending his lightweight crown. As they follow in the footsteps of one legend, they create 2 new ones for the future. Tonight, live from the Pensacola Civic Center, HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing with a doubleheader card featuring 2 of the most talented and accomplished fighters in the sport today. Our evening begins with lightweight champion Shane Mosley taking on Golden Johnson. And then hometown hero Roy Jones Jr. puts his light heavyweight title on the line against full-time New York City police officer, full-time professional boxer Rick Frazier. A birthday celebration for Roy Jones. 1 week shy of his 30th birthday, he elects to fight for the 3rd time on HBO and the 20th time in his professional career in his hometown of Pensacola. An unusually blustery and cold weekend in Pensacola, but it will do nothing to inhibit the probable sellout crowd, which will fill the Pensacola Civic Center to root for their own and to witness the supreme talents of Shane Mosley, the lightweight champion, in the first of the 2 bouts. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. We welcome you to this beginning of the new year edition of HBO's World Championship Boxing. For the 2nd time in 2 months, both Shane Mosley and Roy Jones appear on a card together here on HBO. And in dramatic contrast to most of the boxing cards we've been bringing you recently here on HBO, this night is more a showcase for 2 great dominant champions rather than a showdown for supremacy in any given weight class. Working with me as always, HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. Larry, we mentioned that within the past 2 months, Roy Jones and Shane Mosley shared a card in Foxwoods, Connecticut, in which both scored relatively easy technical knockout victories. Are we in for more of the same?
Probably less of the same, Jim. Fewer rounds, in part because Jones' opponent, Rick Frazier, the policeman, is only the toughest guy in his old precinct. But as a wise old boxing man once said, hell, the whole world is an underdog. And sometimes the underdogs do win. More than likely what we're here for is a concert. Donna Summers and Janet Jackson with boxing gloves on, and hopefully we get some outstanding performances.
Well, we certainly would from Donna Summer and Janet Jackson. We expect we probably will from Shane Mosley and Roy Jones Jr. We would have had a great performance from George Foreman again tonight, but of course George was in training for the fight he might have expected to take place against Larry Holmes, and so we've called in our favorite ace in the hole, the legendary fight trainer and manager Gil Clancy. Gil, as we get ready for Shane Mosley against Golden Johnson, the world knows about Mosley from everything he's accomplished in the last couple of years. Golden Johnson went to a decision, a relatively close decision, against Israel Peter Cardona, one of the better fighters in the lightweight division. Does that mean that he's of the kind of quality that could give Shane Mosley a real test?
Well, Golden Johnson is a good, solid, fundamental fighter. Good snapping jab, good right hand, good endurance, and takes a great punch. The only thing is he's only had 20 fights. I think Mosley does everything he does, but only better.
Well, we'll see as Mosley goes for a 29th knockout in 31 fights tonight. And there's a look at Golden Johnson, originally from Houston, Texas, has been fighting and living out of San Antonio, Texas in recent years after a long layoff from 1995 to 1997 when he said that he was poorly managed and not in a position to do good business in his boxing career. He tried to make up for lost time with 8 appearances in the ring in a very busy 1998.
And he is surrounded by fighters including Reggie Johnson, one of the title holders in the light heavyweight division, and his girlfriend, who is a junior welterweight.
Teddy Benitez, girlfriend of Golden Johnson, fights at 140 pounds. Johnson tonight appearing at 135. You do the math. And the record for Golden Johnson, 15 wins, 2 losses and 2 draws. The most significant loss, that tough decision against Peter Cardona. Some ringside observers felt that Johnson deserved the victory in the fight. This is his first chance at a title belt. And Sugar Shane Mosley, a long way from his home in Pomona, California, but the man with the highest knockout percentage among active champions, increasingly comfortable fighting in the East, on the East Coast, on cards with Roy Jones. He considers it something of an honor to be paired with Jones, whom he calls the best fighter in the sport.
And whom Jones calls the best lightweight he's ever seen outside of Roberto Duran. He had 5 title defenses last year, won them all by knockouts or TKOs, and probably will be named Boxer of the Year by the Boxing Writers Association.
Is he Larry Merchant's Boxer of the Year?
Absolutely.
Mosley, managed and trained by his father, Jack Mosley. It's been a highly beneficial pairing for the two of them. They've created a style and a system that they call power boxing. And what has it done for Mosley? 28 knockouts in 30 fights. 7-0, 6 knockouts in championship fights. Since winning the title from Philip Holliday, he has successfully defended it by knockout every time.
You're the man.
So as Sugar Shane Mosley gets ready to pit his undefeated record against Golden Johnson, we take a look at the tail of the tape. Here in Pensacola, Florida, Mosley weighed in 1/4 pound under the weight limit and has put on 11 1/4 pounds since. 9 pounds added to Johnson's frame since he weighed in at 135. Those weigh-ins more than 24 hours ago. 1.5-inch height advantage for Mosley and a 2.5-inch reach advantage. Johnson tried to make up for that by sparring against long-armed sparring partners. Punch stat numbers, Larry.
Both, as you can see, are relatively equal in the numbers, if nowhere else, although Mosley is the more accurate puncher. Same thing holds with jabs.
And rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Shane Mosley Golden Johnson fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. And Jim, we have a slight controversy. The ring tonight is 16 feet 9 inches. We checked with the president of the World Boxing Council, Jose Suleiman, who's sanctioning the main event, because between Roy Jones and Rick Frazier, and Jose said that the minimum standard for a WBC ring in a title fight is 18 feet. Jose said he instructed his referee, Armando Garcia, to measure the ring. Armando did check the ring, and he says it is 16 feet 9 inches.
And the smaller ring may redound to our entertainment value advantage. While you're watching this upcoming bout, you can also log on to www.hbo.com/boxing to chat and score each round of tonight's action. Also, go ahead and record your prediction for the upcoming welterweight showdown between Oscar De La Hoya and Ike Quartey. Now let's go up to ring announcer Mark Barrow for the official introductions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Pensacola Civic Center in Pensacola, Florida, for an evening of World Championship Boxing on HBO. Under the promotion of Murad Muhammad and M&M Sports and Square Ring Incorporated, in association with the Grand Casinos and Pepsi One. All the taste, 1 calorie, only one has it all. Your matchmaker is Talat Muhammad. Tonight's bouts are under the auspices of the Florida State Athletic Commission, the chairman in attendance, Alvin Goodman, vice chairman, Dr. Jack Gugino, commissioners Terry James, Eric Riley, and Aleida Waldman. Your ring officials assigned by the Florida State Athletic Commission. Your ringside physicians are Dr. Jim Boyd, Dr. Wynn Hansen, and Dr. Lane Yonihiro. Your timekeeper this evening is Phyllis Gary. Counting for the knockdowns at the bell, the alternate referee, Max Parker Jr. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Murad Muhammad and M&M Sports and Square Ring in association with Cedric Kushner Promotions and Arthur Palulo's Banner Promotions presents your first championship fight of the evening, 12 rounds for the IBF Lightweight Championship of the World. Ring officials assigned by the International Boxing Federation President Robert W. Lee. Supervisor in attendance, Miriam Muhammad. Your judges at ringside are from Chicago, Illinois, Pete Podgorski. From Atlantic City, New Jersey, Gene Williams. And from Miami, Florida, Stuart Winston. Your referee for this event from Pensacola, Florida, Tommy Timmons. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the principals first. In the blue corner, to my right, wearing the gold sequin trunks, weighing in at 135 pounds with a professional record of 15 victories, 2 defeats, 2 draws, and 10 wins coming by way of knockout. He hails from Killeen, Texas, rated number 12 in the world by the IBF and the challenger, Golden Johnson. Johnson. Here we go, baby. His opponent in the red corner, wearing the cream-colored trunks with leopard trim. He weighs in at 134 3/4 pounds. His professional record reads undefeated in 30 professional bouts, 28 wins coming by way of knockout. He hails from Pomona, California, the IBF lightweight champion of the world, Sugar Shane Mosley. Mosley, 12 rounds for the IBF lightweight championship of the world.
2 seconds only.
Gentlemen, this fight is for the championship of the world, and I gave you your instructions. I want to remind you that this audience is here to watch you fight, so keep it clean. Touch him up.
Golden Johnson said he would go right after Shane Mosley, so the size of the ring would be irrelevant if that were to pass, Gil.
Well, I'd like to see it because I think it would make a heck of a fight as long as it goes. But it's like going into a wood chopper, walking into Shane Mosley.
Golden Johnson says he believes he's stronger than Shane Mosley. Johnson's best friend, Jesse James Leha, is the man Mosley scored a technical knockout over in his last fight on November 14. And in that fight, Mosley hit Leija so many times on the top of the head that he badly bruised both of his hands. But he says that they have had sufficient time to recover as he gets ready for tonight. And Mosley sneaks in a right cross early on in the action.
Little light triple hook from Mosley. Give you a look at his fast hands.
That's a range finder, Larry. Just trying to find a range. I like the way Johnson, though, is staying pretty cool. Very calm. He's not using that snapping left jab that we saw him use so well against Cardona.
Johnson seemingly reluctant to let punches go in the early going. That's given Shane Mosley a fairly free rein to launch his offense, working behind the jab and coming in with power punches, as you see. James Leija told his buddy Golden Johnson in preparation for this fight that Mosley punches harder to the body than to the head. Body shots for Mosley helped set up the TKO over Leija.
I think Mosley's best punches are to the body. One of the best body punches I've seen in a long, long time, especially with that left hook.
He said he learned to emphasize that punch by sparring with a lot of Mexican fighters in Los Angeles gyms.
Well, he throws that typical Mexican left hook to the body. There's good leverage on that punch.
In fact, in early sparring, early in his professional career with the noted Mexican body puncher Zach Padilla, Mosley says that frequently the two would stand and just ignore headshots and trade to the body for long stretches of time.
Zach Padilla was a very, very tough guy and a very, very busy fighter. So I'm sure he helped teach Mosley how to get in shape to fight.
Well, you talk about how some fathers have protected their sons as pro fighters, but Shane Mosley in the gym has been in with the best Los Angeles has to offer. Right hand lands inside for Golden Johnson, and Johnson
left hook by Johnson also
beginning to trade more freely with Shane Mosley. So you get the sense that maybe Johnson has now tasted Mosley's power, or thinks he has, believes he can handle the prospect of trading with the champion, and did so in the last 30 seconds of the round.
Excellent work, excellent work. He didn't like that body shot. All right? Body shot to the right side is devastating, and that's why he's starting to hold. He's moving to the left. Want to cut that off. Except the right hand.
After every right hand. Step it up. Put the pressure on him. Keep you rolling good. He can't hit you to the body. Keep the jab pumping. Roll inside. I want that left foot coming back. You hit him the first time. Keep it going. But stay busy. Put a little pressure on him. Stop backing up. I don't want you to outbox him. I don't want that. You got to go to him. He wants you to try to outbox him because you're on the outside. Step in, double, and triple your jab. All right, roll inside.
And there's Teddy Benitez, Golden Johnson's girlfriend, sizing up her boyfriend. I wonder if she agrees with the trainer. Do you, Gil?
Well, again, it's kind of tough to just walk in and put a lot of pressure on a guy with all the talent that Shane Mosley has.
But you're not going to beat him by boxing, is what his trainer is.
That's exactly right. You have to take chances. So Eddie Mustafa is probably defying the odds and doing what he has to do to try to win the fight. I admire him for that.
And just to underline the point again about Golden Johnson's girlfriend, Teddy Benitez, and we saw at ringside, she's a 140-pound fighter. Golden says she's a boxer puncher.
And Johnson landed another good left hook in that last exchange. And you know, with all of the talent that Shane Mosley has, no question about that. I've seen a lot of fighters, all of a sudden they can hit a good solid shot, and all of that talent goes right down the drain.
Well, that's one of the tests of what a fighter is beside hand speed. We want to see how he deals with adversity, because ultimately it is going to come.
There's that natural athletic ability of Mosley. Very unorthodox move, but they were successful.
Mosley landing the jab and chopping a right hand behind it. Goes back to trying to establish his jab and fires a right hand lead. Golden Johnson has traded well in some exchanges here early in round number 2. Hard right hand body shot by Mosley.
And again, Johnson was trying to counter with that left hook. It's a short left hook too. He nails it, lands it on his chin. We may have some fun.
So it looks as though Johnson, conscious of Mosley's commitment to punching to the body, wants to counter upstairs when he can against Mosley's body assault.
Well, that's exactly the thing to do, Jim, if he can do it. Here you go, Mosley switching to southpaw. And very effective switching to southpaw.
Fires a left-hand lead out of the southpaw stance and lands it solidly. He also switched southpaw on 2 or 3 occasions against Jesse James Layhawk. Now right-hand lead sets up the left hand to the body for Mosley, and Johnson not firing back in that exchange. Mosley says he's at his best when he's up on his toes and moving, but he definitely has a tendency to settle down on flat feet and just whack away.
Well, again, that's up to his corner to remind him to stay on those toes and keep moving. But again, you can see he's still able to get rid of some punches, whether they're landing or not. He's throwing them with bad intentions.
Golden Johnson willing to fight with Shane Mosley in the first 2 rounds, and those of us looking for entertainment are happy to see that. Still to come tonight, Roy Jones Jr. looking for another victory. This the 3rd time that he has fought here in Pensacola in his hometown on HBO. Turned down bigger money to fight in some casino towns which might have been willing to host the bout, because he says that every once in a while he likes to service his obligation to his hometown fans, and since this is 1 week before his 30th birthday, what better time?
He is hurt. You have taken a whole lot out of it these 2 rounds. Okay. Be surprised if we go past 8 rounds. Okay. Continue with the power boxing, the intensity, body shot. Yeah, and just don't throw caution to the wind. Right. He still wants to move.
Here we see Shane Mosley switching southpaw back to conventional style, right hand, a little bit of a leaping left later on in the round, as you can see, southpaw. And I was really impressed, Gil, by the way he threw that left hand from the southpaw stance. It was like perfectly natural southpaw.
Natural ability. You can't beat that natural ability. And I agreed with his father when he told him, he said, you've taken a lot out of this guy already, because he has landed some good solid body punches, especially in the 2nd round.
Well, and he's thrown 178 punches by CompuBox numbers in the first 2 rounds, landing more than half of them. So heavy work early by Mosley, averaging 89 punches per round. That's a very big number for him.
Switched to southpaw, now he's back to orthodox style again.
It's almost like when he does it, Gil, it's almost like a pass receiver who goes out looking over one shoulder and then turns the other shoulder.
Quick left hook landed by Golden Johnson. Countering as Mosley went to the body again. Johnson hasn't been able to land his jab, but he keeps putting it out there. The left hook has been by far the most effective punch when Golden Johnson has been able to sneak it in.
You know, you hit the nail on the head. You said he's putting it out there. He's not throwing the punch with any concentration or any speed, that left jab. He's just putting it out there, as you mentioned.
Stay off his back, both of you.
And that's an invitation to Mosley's right hand.
Any kind of counter.
Sugar Shane Mosley in the cream-colored trunks with leopard skin trim. Golden Johnson, who's named, incidentally, for Golden Richards of the Dallas Cowboys. His parents were a big Dallas Cowboys fan, loved number 83.
And Golden Richards, he was a good catcher, wasn't he?
He could catch.
Well, I'm talking Golden Johnson, because he's caught some already.
He has been mostly the receiver.
doing some good damage inside, Mosley.
Getting good shots to the body. Uppercut lands for Mosley. May have been the hardest punch of the bout so far.
Let him go.
Johnson is a little hurt at the moment.
Yep. I think the uppercut left him hurt, and he goes down on a double left hook.
To the body.
6, 7, 8. Give me glass.
In Florida, if you need time to collect yourself, you'd better go down. No standing 8 count here.
And again, as we had mentioned, that left hook to the body by Mosley, that's probably his best punch.
And another left hook to the body puts Golden Johnson down the second time.
5, 6, 7, 8. You all right? All right.
The end of round number 3, but a round in which Shane Mosley knocked Golden Johnson down twice, both times with left hooks to the body.
Good hit. Thank you very much. He's got a good hit. He's got an extension to land the hooks, Golden. That's what I'm telling you. You got to be inside. All right, he's not going to reach around. You catch him with your left hook all the time. But you pull him back, he's going to hit you with the left hook to the body. You got to go to the man. Pump your jab. You're not doing anything, son. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. You work too hard. You're not fighting. That ain't like you. Come on. You're not fighting, baby. What's up? What's up? Hey, man. Hey, he's a man just like you, man. What you waiting for? You ain't doing nothing. You just like letting him punch. You're not doing nothing. You got to go to war.
Get a look at Shane body work by Mosley. Right and left, two crisp, thudding left hands to the ribs. Right in there. Boy, it hurts from here. It's almost like a saddle being slapped by a 2x4.
Partially set up by the right uppercut, which seemed to have stunned Johnson about 7 or 8 seconds before. And of course, truly great finishers, when they have a man in trouble, they remember to go to the body. Mosley is in that category.
Yes, he is. Nice combination by Johnson.
You heard Eddie Mustafa Muhammad between rounds saying, Golden, you got to go fight the man. And Johnson has listened to his corner as he comes out more aggressively in round 4.
I thought the look on Johnson's face when he was listening in his corner was saying, easier said than done.
Yeah, the look of resignation. I noticed exactly the same thing.
But he's brave and willing. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Jim, 3-0, 30-25, Sugar Shane Mosley. I made a beautiful job by Mosley so far. He looks excellent. Beautiful ring generalship, the way he steps to the side. And you got to love that double left hook that he knocked him down twice with. In other words, he'll throw 2 left hooks before he pulls his arm back. That third round, 10-7 because of the 2 knockdowns.
Thudding right hand from Mosley. Another left to the body, and Golden Johnson in trouble again as he tries to clamp Mosley's arm and now comes back with punches of his own. Brave performance by Golden Johnson.
But his punches are so much slower than Shane Mosley's punches. You can see the difference in talent in there.
Well, you're going to see the difference in talent against most opponents at 135 pounds when Shane Mosley is in the ring.
He really loves to punch to the body. Some fighters don't learn that until they're way, way further advanced in their career.
And he's landing at a fearsome rate upstairs as the result of all the body punches. Golden Johnson just doesn't know where to defend himself because Mosley's coming from all angles with hard punches. Blistering right hand by Sugar Shane. Right to the body.
And to Johnson's credit, he's still pegging, still trying.
Oh, it lands an uppercut.
Y'all work out of it, work out of it.
Mosley was dispensing with defense there for a second, and Golden Johnson got a free shot with that right uppercut.
You know, Golden Johnson's stature went up in that very close loss to Gardona. And no matter what happens here, he's still showing that he's a formidable fighter. He's a real professional prize fighter.
Putting some contact on Mosley, even while being largely outclassed.
Okay? But you still take a breather, you know what I mean? You hit him with a lot of power punches. Set him up with some jabs. Bam, bam, bam. Sneak those body shots in there on him because he's looking for it now. So you got to sneak those body shots in on him, okay? Jab, jab, jab. Right hand. Maybe a left hook. But fast.
Step to the man, double, triple your jabs. Come back with the left hook. All right? Now he's dead. Now it's up to you to do what you got to do now. The man is gone.
Be first.
He threw his best shots and you still here. You still here. All right? Come up the middle with your punches. Come up the middle with your punches. All right? Come up the middle and finish with your left hook. All right? Let's go. Now he's dead. Now let's go, baby.
All the marbles.
Come on, baby.
On this occasion, I thought that Eddie Mustafa said exactly the right thing to his fighter. He's trying to get his spirits up, trying to say, look, you're still in the fight. He's hit you his best shots. You're still here. You got a chance.
Well, you know, that's one of the oldest strategies in boxing. Fighting him back to his corner, and he's dead tired, and he sits down. As soon as he sits down, his trainer says, he's tired as anything. Well, Jack Mosley told Shane not to take the round off, but he said, don't work as hard, don't throw as many power punches. Start the boxing. That's exactly what he's doing.
In the last 2 rounds, rounds 3 and 4, Mosley threw more than 150 power punches and landed close to 90 of them. So he did a lot of work offensively in those 2 rounds. Roy Jones is on record as saying that it takes just as much out of you to throw a power punch as it does to take one.
There's that southpaw stance again where he threw a straight left hand, staying in the southpaw stance for the moment. You think he sees something there that he can do, or is that just
every time he switches to southpaw, he's been very effective. But you have to do that a lot in the gym. You must practice that in the gym.
Landed a right uppercut, and now a hard left hand across the top for Mosley. It would be another feather in his cap if he managed to finish Johnson out of the southpaw stance. But now he goes back conventional.
He got nailed with a pretty good right hand when he landed that left hook, Jim.
Eddie Mustafa Muhammad working with Golden Johnson for the first time tonight. They've trained together for weeks, obviously, but this is their first bout together. Asking his fighter to come up the middle with the attack, like that.
Look at that double uppercut by Mosley. He's inventing punches in there.
Great footwork to change the punching angle by Mosley, and he comes back with 3 landed power shots. One of the things Shane Mosley does brilliantly, stepping around to find punching room.
Nailed with a pretty good left jab that time by Johnson.
You know, even if he's taking a little bit off for this round, Gil, he's still impressive in what else he does.
Oh, he did things in this round that I very seldom ever seen. He changes direction.
On January 25, HBO Sports presents the next edition of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Among the stories to be featured, an investigation into offshore gambling operations that take in hundreds of millions of dollars in what the American government calls illegal sports bets. A report on a controversial study which asserts that 1 of every 5 NFL players has a criminal background. And a look at the grueling and often frustrating life of a National Football League assistant coach. Real Sports, where nothing is out of bounds, premieres Monday, January 25 at 10, here on HBO.
Don't let this one get away. The man ready to give it up. All right, it's yours to take. It's yours to take.
You got to take it. He ain't gonna give it to you.
Now you go ahead and take it. Tell me what kind of nuts you got. It's nuts and guts in this hair place, baby. Nuts and guts.
Here we see the flurry from Mosley. You can see that he's not just a good, well-schooled fighter, but when he has the advantage and the opportunity, he'll just let go like a brawler.
And Mosley, who had been throwing upward of 75 punches per round, brought it down to only 56 attempted blows in that last round, following his father's instructions to get it a little bit under control and get a little rest.
When you say he's a brawler, he's what I would call a thinking brawler, because he's giving the idea that he's just letting it all hang out, but in the meanwhile he's moving one way or the other, getting the angle on you.
I don't know if this is the first time you've seen him in person or not, Gil, but you seem very impressed by him, as all of us have been.
I'm very, very impressed by him. He's showing all sorts of talent in this ring.
But also a kind of fighting spirit. It's not just textbook talent.
I think I'm looking at a fight back in the 40s right now, Larry. That's what it looks like.
You compare him to the best lightweights you've seen.
Well, he looks pretty darn good to me right now. Another 20 fights or so, then we'll see.
And as you look around the pound-for-pound landscape, Gil, with Jones, De La Hoya, Cuarte, Trinidad, Evander Holyfield, the various other top fighters in the sport, Ricardo Lopez, where do you put Mosley?
Well, I think he has the same curse on him right now that Roy Jones has. There just isn't that great opposition out there of fights that are going to be contests for him. He's so far above the average guy. He's in there with a pretty tough guy right now, and he's just more or less having a good time.
One lightweight who has called out Mosley and definitely wants a match with him, Ivan Robinson, two-time conqueror of Arturo Gatti.
Let it go.
Larry will talk later about some of the other lightweights who might be on the horizon for Shane.
Holding too much.
Left hook to the body, Mosley.
Break, no punching. Clean break, step back.
Johnson's still bouncing on his toes.
Brave, committed performance by Golden Johnson. Coming off a similarly brave, committed performance against Israel Pito Cardona.
Well, except that he's digging a very deep hole for himself in this fight. With Cardona, the fight was up in the air till the last round.
Well, Cardona doesn't have the kinds of skills that Shane Mosley has.
No question about that. Who does in that weight class?
Well, I think Ivan Robinson has some real skills.
Ivan Robinson doesn't have the punching power or strength.
He'll hope to get a chance to prove it one way or the other. Larry, what about the landscape in the lightweight division presently ruled by Shane Mosley?
Took everything out of it.
Well, here's a look at the fellas out there who would like to fight Mosley. Cesar Bazan, who holds one of the titles. Good Mexican fighter. Stevie Johnston, who has lost only a close decision to Bazan and once beat Mosley in the amateurs. And Ivan Robinson, who is coming off two sensational performances last year against
Arturo Gatti.
Arturo Gatti.
But again, it's the opposition. You don't compare Mosley and Gatti. Do you put them in the same league?
No, I'm not. But Ivan Robinson, we've seen him 3 times.
See the zero, guys?
He's put on 3 really good performances.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I was pointing out the zero because we're told that's only the second time in the history of CompuBox round-by-round punch counting that a fighter has gone an entire round without landing a punch. Golden Johnson, by CompuBox numbers, 0 for 30 in that round. The only other time it happened, Roy Jones shutting out Vinny Pazienza over the course of a round. Harold Letterman, how about your scorecard through 6?
I didn't give the 6th round to Golden Johnson, who didn't land a punch. 6-0, 60-52, Sugar Shane Mosley. Jim, I got to tell you, one of the things that grabs the eye of boxing judges all the time is the guy that gets off first. I mean, and Shane Mosley does this beautifully. Effective aggressiveness, he always throws that first punch, and Golden Johnson gets hit so hard he can't counter.
Golden Johnson is in retreat now. It looks as though he is now trying to find a way to survive. That Mosley has beaten him out of the idea that he can win the fight.
Yeah.
I think he'd like to get out of there gracefully.
Right.
He's a
Just
very
as I was lauding Johnson for his brave and committed performance, his bravery and commitment waned precipitously.
Well, he's very game, but he's so overmatched talent-wise. Not heart-wise, talent-wise.
Johnson just got a chance to land a punch there. By CompuBox observation, it's the first time in more than 4 minutes that Golden Johnson had landed a punch against Mosley. Mosley willing to give his body as he digs away at Johnson's ribcage.
Johnson is still punching back. Have to give him credit.
Pattern with Shane Mosley, round after round of body punishment, until he makes the man surrender.
Beautiful left hook to the body again.
Oh, what a right cross. And Johnson, badly hurt, goes down on the second right cross. The first one was a beauty.
You know, this is the time, I think, when a corner has to start thinking of, this kid has still got a career in front of himself.
Absolutely. If I was in the corner, the fight would be over. Oh, he nailed
Mosley with a hard right hand. Johnson coming back with a right hand to stop Mosley momentarily in his tracks. But here comes Sugar Shane again.
Johnson really is taking a beating now.
Goes down on a body punch for the third time in the bout.
Please stay there, Golden.
He did not let the referee take a good look at him.
9, 10.
Smart play. Smart play by Golden Johnson, who had no chance to win the fight and knew it.
You'll be back another day, kid.
Well, he gave a satisfactory performance, I have to say that.
Yep.
He did everything he could against a super superior fighter, Shane Mosley.
Okay. Mona is definitely in the house. They got all my fans watching. Okay. And hey, it's another one. 31-0, 29 knockouts.
He knows his record. Here's another look at the first knockdown, and there's that first right cross that set it up. Golden Johnson still bobbing at that point. The second right cross put him down. And Gil, what about the way Mosley puts punches together when he's ready to finish?
I can't find any fault with Mosley at all. And watch this left hook to the body. He's going down again for that left hook to the body. That was his most effective punch the entire fight, that left hook underneath.
Well, he scored 3 separate knockdowns with double left hooks and left hooks to the body. One knockdown on the right cross. Of course, the punishment in round 3 was set up by a brilliant right uppercut. We saw the left hook upstairs as well several times. Shane Mosley, a fighter with every conceivable weapon.
I would have to say so. He showed me just about everything tonight, including switching to southpaw, giving me the impression that he was really brawling. He knew where he was all the time in this fight.
Now let's go to ring announcer Mark Barrow for the official particulars on Mosley's 29th KO.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 2 minutes, 59 seconds of the 7th round. The winner by knockout and still IBF lightweight champion of the world, Sugar Shane Mosley.
Hit the camera a little bit. Okay, Tammy. Okay, you kids get down. Y'all gotta get down now. Come on. Let me stand right here. Come down. Right here in the middle.
Final punch at numbers. Utterly one-sided. It was the 6th round in which Golden Johnson went 0 for 30, didn't land a punch. So Mosley lands almost as many punches as Johnson is able to throw. Throws 222 more than Golden Johnson, lands 202 more, and doubles him in connect percentage. The power punch numbers will be equally one-sided. You see them there. 61% connection on power punch for Mosley, and of course every body shot is a power punch. Let's go to Larry Merchant with the winner.
Tremendous work.
Congratulations, Shane. Golden Johnson came over to you a moment ago and said, "You're a great champion." What does that make you to feel like to have an opponent recognize that?
Well, I think that's good. I mean, he's giving me credit. You know, he fought very hard. I fought hard, and you know, that's what happened. But I think Golden Johnson's very strong and durable. He's still young, and he's certainly going to have another opportunity probably at the title later on in his professional career.
The body punches obviously is what set up this victory. Were you looking for that from the beginning, or is that just come naturally as the fight evolves?
It comes natural, but I also I watched Peter Cardona go to the body. I noticed it weakened Johnson a lot, and Peter couldn't get him out with headshots, and we know that Peter's a hard head puncher. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go to the body there.
Let's take a quick look at the future. Ivan Robinson has called you out, says you're not all of that great.
I want Ivan.
He wants to fight you.
I want you, Ivan. I want you next. April or May. Let's get our schedules together and let's do this.
What about Cesar Bazan, who also says he would like to fight you, the Mexican champion?
Well, we want both of them. I want Ivan first, and then we get Cesar Bazan in there next. I want you too. I want all the best lightweights out there. Step forward. Let's get it on.
Thank you very much. You do get it on. Jim?
And there's the victory celebration for Shane Mosley and his contingent from Pomona, California. Judges up to this point in the bout, just like Harold Letterman. All three judges, I'm told, scoring it as a shutout for Mosley to that point. And indeed, Harold's scorecard was completely in sync with those of all three judges at ringside. We'll have more later on when Roy Jones gets ready to take on 39-year-old New York policeman Rick Frazier in a defense of Jones's light heavyweight championship. But right now, let's look ahead to one of the biggest upcoming bouts on the calendar. February 13 in Las Vegas, the biggest test of Oscar De La Hoya's career as he gets ready to fight unbeaten welterweight champion from Ghana, Ike Quartey. And Ike lives and trains much of the time here in Pensacola, so he joins us live here at ringside tonight. I'm assisted by Fred Asifo, who speaks Ike's native Ghanaian language of Ga, but Ike's been living so much in Pensacola that his English is getting a whole lot better as he gets ready to fight De La Hoya. Because you didn't take a tune-up bout, and because De La Hoya cited an injury in training to delay this bout, which was originally scheduled for November, you're going to come into the ring not having fought in more than a year. Does that concern you at all, Ike?
No, that doesn't concern at all, because, you know, everybody knows who I am and what I can do. You know, it doesn't concern at all if I haven't fight for a year. I can earn the Oscar easily.
Well, you say everybody knows what you're going to do. You've overpowered most of your opponents in the past with your strength and your terrific jab. Are you expecting to go out and dominate De La Hoya with your jab?
The same thing going to happen on February 13th. I'm going to wear him down with my jab, and then, you know, I'll do what I got to do.
How big is this fight in your life?
This is the biggest fight in my life. You know, people think this is the toughest fight, but I don't think this fight is tough because Oscar is not tough. But this is a big fight for me because Oscar is big in America.
Do you think American fight fans know who you are and realize how big a challenge this is for Oscar?
I think they know who I am and what I can do. I think they know I'm the best 147 up there, so they know what I can do.
You train in the same gym as Roy Jones, although I'm told your workouts are at different times. But have you spoken to Roy about De La Hoya and what he thinks you can do to beat Oscar?
Well, I haven't spoken to Roy about Oscar, but Roy thinks I'll beat Oscar by all means because he's my buddy, he's my friend. You know, we always talk, but I haven't talked about Oscar with Roy.
But he hasn't talked to you about how to beat Oscar?
No, we haven't talked about that, you know, because, you know, I know who Roy is and he knows who I am, so we just talked to each other about, you know, just normal and not about boxing.
Suspect that Oscar is watching out in Big Bear, California tonight as he gets ready for February 13. What do you have to say to him?
Oh, Oscar should get ready. I think Oscar's not ready to fight me. I think he wants to fight me, but I hope he will show up in February 13 and you know, receive what I want to give to him.
Ike Quartey of Ghana and Pensacola, Florida. February 13, Las Vegas, Nevada. We'll see you live against Oscar De La Hoya. Thanks very much for joining us. And that bout will be live pay-per-view from the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. February 13, by far the biggest test so far in De La Hoya's career. You might likewise call it the biggest test so far for Ike Quartey. And still to come tonight, second of our two main events,